Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Welcome back to Fox 12 Now, taking a live look down there at the Tilikum Bridge. And that's right over by Omsey. Pretty great shot because we still have that really nice weather out there. And so it looks like some people are walking across right now enjoying that. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate you joining us here every weekday. We start at 1 p.m. Pacific. We go throughout the afternoon, bringing you segments on a number of different topics every day, covering different things. And we are on our website, our apps, and of course on social media as well. So thanks for finding us on one of those platforms. Right now, though, speaking of that good weather, I'm sure a lot of people have been out enjoying that over the last few days, and probably, like me, you might be suffering from some allergies. That's part of the payoff of being here in the Northwest, particularly when we start getting this kind of nice weather. Everything comes out, all the pollen's there. And we decided to find out a little bit more about that. So we spoke to an allergy specialist and immunologist from Kaiser Permanente Northwest about how that all works, why it starts up now, what to do about it, more importantly as well, like what you can watch out for, some good tips and tricks. And so this is Dr. Mark Chan, who joined us earlier today during a break in his schedule to talk about that. So we're going to go ahead and play this for you right now, and hopefully this answers some questions for you if you're like me and you've got that runny nose or stuffed up a little bit, to find out a little bit more about that. Here's Dr. Mark. All right, well, Dr. Chan, thank you very much for joining us today. This is a subject that's very near and dear to my heart because I suffer from allergies, and I wanted to ask, just in general, I think for knowledge for everybody here, for whether you've been here in the Northwest for a while or maybe you're new, what are the general allergy seasons? When do those typically start here in Oregon?
Yeah, for the Northwest here, we can certainly start fairly early in some years. It can start as early as January, but more typically around February, and that's when the tree pollens are coming into play. Then come around late April, for sure May and June, then you're feeling the grass pollen allergy, and boy, we have it pretty bad here for that. Usually by the time we get into mid-July, we exit the grass pollen by then, and weed pollen starts to sneak in the fall. But fortunately, since we have a bit more rain during that season, people aren't suffering as bad as during the spring and summer months.
And have you seen it typically starting earlier than normal when it comes to allergy season, than say over a number of years?
Yeah, I think nationally with global warming, we're definitely seeing many regions where the pollen season is coming in early. I think here in the Northwest, we haven't necessarily seen a every year prevalence where it's early, but there are years definitely that it is coming in fairly early, depending on how harsh our winter gets. This year, even though we had some cold weather, it wasn't enough to slow them down. The plants are ready to go. All the pollens are out.
Yeah, you can definitely see it, depending on when people are watching this. We're here towards the end of, well, actually first day of spring, technically, March 17th.
Absolutely,
so, yeah. These last few days, we've had some pretty nice weather, which has been great, but I have definitely felt the effects of that, I feel like. So,
yeah.
So like right now, what to go back into that just a little bit more, what are the pollens that people that are affecting people the most right now?
Cottonwood, birch, alder, those are all, the tree pollens are all the things that are out now. Fortunately, the grass hasn't really peaked yet, but like I said, they will probably start sneaking in the next month or so as well. And then we do have some later tree pollens that will be coming in as well.
And for, I guess, I kind of want to walk through, for you, what some of the most important things are for people to know, about going into this allergy season, what you can do to protect yourself and what you can do for, I guess, preventative or to at least get rid of some of those symptoms that people are experiencing.
Yeah, definitely there's some self-care things that you can do to try to help. Certainly, recognizing what your allergy seasons in the past is important, because then you can be aware when you might need to be more cautious. For instance, when you're not outdoors, when you're in the home, keep the windows and door closed, and maybe run a good air purification system. It kind of optimizes the air quality when you're in the home. And when you're outdoors, especially on the sunny, nice days, or perhaps on the windier days, it wouldn't hurt to wear a mask. And when you get home, change your clothes, shower off, get a clean start again back in your home again. Those are things that you have at least some control over. the situation.
Changing clothes when you come in, if you're particularly susceptible to it, air purifier, I love that idea, and then keeping those windows closed. So wearing the mask outside, just to clarify on that, so the mask, like the typical ones that we're used to for COVID, those ones will work for allergens as well?
No, I mean, they're not going to completely filter out all the pollen particles, but the whole point is it takes part of the burden away so that you're not getting as much of the load into your nasal passages in your lungs.
Something else, and I know this is something that was brought up on the press release that was sent out, but I think it's pretty important. For a lot of people, now there's other illnesses that are going around as well, and when you have allergies, you have potential COVID cases or some other, virus going around. It's hard to distinguish sometimes those different effects. So what are the best ways to understand what it is that you're actually being affected by?
Yeah, I mean, certainly with colds and allergies, there are some fairly similar symptoms. You can have your runny nose, stuffy nose, sinus congestion. Sometimes it can go down to your lower respiratory tract. Oftentimes with sickness, you may run like fevers, which wouldn't be common in allergies. And sneezing is more typical with allergies rather than sickness. So if there's more like the sneeziness to it, perhaps, again, it's more pointing towards allergies. And also, if you kind of reflect back a little bit on your previous years, you probably have a little bit of a sense of your pattern. In the past, if usually spring, summer's your symptoms, and what your previous symptoms are, that can kind of help to give you an idea if it's something different than what it usually is. Maybe it is something different, like a sickness.
That's okay. Good to know. So monitoring yourself and making sure you realize, some of those symptoms that you've experienced before, and do a little self-comparison. So that can definitely help. When it comes to allergies, talking about over-the-counter medications, how do you know what are the right ones to take for yourself? There's so many different kinds of antihistamines out there and all different variety of that. How do you know what the right over-the-counter medication is to take?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot out there, definitely. I would say for things over-the-counter, antihistamines that are more the what we call newer generation, ones that don't make people so sleepy are good choices. They go by names like loratadine, fexofenadine, cetirizine. Those are some examples of them. I would stay away if you can with some of these ones that make people sleepy, like Benadryl. It's probably not worth it with the side effects. There are also a lot of nice allergy nasal sprays out there over the counter that does a good job with the congestion and all the nasal symptoms from allergies. And of course, if you have allergy symptoms to your eyes, there are allergy eye drops as well that are available over the counter. I think those are some of the main ones that you might want to head towards using if you had those symptoms.
Great to know. And something else that you brought up, bringing up just climate change in general across the U.S. and across the world, extending these seasons. So do you anticipate that's something that we're going to see here going year to year, that these seasons are going to get longer?
Ours is pretty long already in the Northwest, I have to admit. So I would think ours will still for a while kind of vary depending on how our winters look. But as it stands now, it can start as early as January and has in previous years. So I suspect that moving forward, there will be years that we'll see it as early as January.
And for right now, you mentioned, we've got the certain tree pollens that are affecting everybody right now. We are going to be getting, a little bit, at least intermittent rain coming through, so hopefully that could try to temper that down. But after this season, what was the next allergy season that we should be looking for?
So after the tree pollen, the next allergy season's the grass pollens, which again really peaks in May and June. That's the worst of it for everyone here. That is grass allergic, yeah.
So be prepared for that one.
Yes,
I know I will be.
Yes, absolutely. Have your medicines on hand and think about those tips we talked about.
I will be writing down that list of exactly what you said. Any other tips that you have for anybody out there that's suffering from allergies right now?
Certainly, if things are still going amok, things aren't going well enough, you tried the over-the-counter medicines, reach out to your primary care provider. They have other suggestions, other treatments that they can offer. So, make sure you touch base with them and get your health under adequate control so you have enough comfort for yourself.
Fantastic. Well, Doctor, thank you very much for joining us today. To talk about this. Really, really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure meeting you too. Take care.
All right, so there we go. Some good information, some good tips there. I wanted to go to our live shot. That's from Willamette Valley Vineyards. They're in the Willamette Valley, just south of Salem. So taking a look over there, the fields right there, and all of those trees, because there's a lot of pollen there too. But nonetheless, still looks pretty cool. So thank you again for joining us. This is Fox 12 Now. If this is your first time watching, congratulations on finding us. We have a lot of content for you to catch up on, and I highly recommend downloading Fox 12 Oregon app to do so. Because with that app, not only can you see our regular programming, you can also see all the Fox 12 Now segments that we have, which are a lot. And we cover a wide range of topics on this show, including breaking news. Breaking news does happen between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. I'm right here. We will bring that to you. We'll get you the information as soon as we can and as quick as we can, and we'll get that right out to you. And that's because we can go live really as needed right here for this platform. So thanks for being a part of this, and I appreciate you joining the show. If you have a topic you think would make for a very good segment, feel free to send me an email, fox12now@kptv.com, fox12now@kptv.com. Send that in to me. We'll see if we can make something happen and get something here on the air, or maybe we can do a deeper dive on a subject that you're interested in, that you want to find out more about. So all of that is part of what we get to do here. I'm going to sign off.